13, The Chocolate Lab. The right time. A cannon booms on top of the stone wall behind us. Smoke poofs into the sky and people cheer. There are a bunch of battle reenactments through the weekend, but they load and fire that cannon every hour. I wish they would give us some sort of warning, though. That thing is loud. Mom and Dad scraped together every dollar they could and bought a ton of ingredients. Mrs. McEnany at the farmer's market gave them a discount in exchange for a part of each batch of Yankee Doodle candy chocolate. She likes it so much that she wants to sell it right at the market. Grandpa is still doing his favorite job, working the roller over the grinding stone. Mom is roasting the cocoa beans over the campfire, and Hannah is tossing the cracked beans into the air in a winnowing basket. When there's a breeze, you've got to watch out not to breathe in all the dust flittering around. My job is grinding up the nibs with the mortar and the pestle, and Dad is taking care of the money. Even Coco helps. He prances around in the tricorn hat and ruffled collar Grandpa had specially made for him. Coco even brought a customer to our booth by tugging on a woman's dress. It's as though making chocolate the old-fashioned way is a perfect fit for our family. Everyone has their own job. And of course, we're all wearing colonial clothing. The great thing is that since everyone else is dressed like this, I don't feel weird at all. Stockings, frills, breeches, it doesn't matter. There are tons of different booths here, all with people in outfits like ours. To our left sits a woman weaving baskets and a guy who sells dried meats. A bearded man is tanning hides behind us. Boy, is that a smelly job. It makes me glad we make chocolate. This is a great solution, Mom says as she wraps a block of chocolate in paper and hands it to an old woman. Yeah, Mason, Dad says, it's one of the most basic ideas in business. If you can't do well in your old market, find a new one. Plus, this is more fun, Hannah says. It's one thing to melt chocolates and dip stuff into it, but making chocolate from scratch is a whole different thing. The Kunkles have nothing on us. Dad hands a man his change and stuffs cash into his already stuffed pouch. And the good news is that we're making enough money to give this new business a try. You mean we get to stay in our house, I say? And at our school, Hannah adds. For now, Mom says. We'll see how things go. I look down at Coco. He is lapping water from a wooden bowl. Grandpa told us we need to keep everything as colonial as possible. As always, he slurps 3 tonguefuls, then takes a breath before he goes back for more. What about Coco, I ask. Coco lifts his head and looks at us, then goes back to his water. Mason, Dad says, Coco can't control himself. Mom jiggles her skillet. The cocoa beans pop and crackle. He's caused so much trouble. I know, I say. But if he hadn't caused so much trouble, we never would have found the secret room with the chocolate making equipment and great however many times Grandma Beatrice's chocolate recipe. When you think about it, Coco sort of saved us. Mom squiggles her lips and looks at Dad. They make uggy buggy eyes at each other. That pet of yours, Dad says. Coco is not a pet, I say. He's a member of our family. Dad starts to shake his head. Come on already, Grandpa says. You can't take a dog away from 2 little kids. You guys make worse decisions than General Howie during his 1777 Saratoga campaign. Mom sighs. I guess Coco can stay, she finally says. But Mason, you're in charge of him, Dad adds. No more letting him storm into the chocolate shop. I promise, I say. Me too, Hannah says. We both rush to Coco and give him hugs and belly rubs. Coco rolls on his back and starts kicking his legs. I'm not sure he understands what just happened, but I can tell he's happy. Now let's get back to work, Grandpa says. Before long, we're almost sold out. I mean, who can say no to authentic colonial chocolate at an authentic American Revolution reenactment? The huge mountain we started with is down to a few paper wrapped pieces and 2 small blocks. Mom is cutting those up and wrapping them while Dad and Grandpa sit on a wooden bench counting the money. Why don't you 2 wander around a bit, Mom says. Have a look at the reenactment down on the hill, Grandpa adds. The Patriots are about to beat the pants off of General Borgen. It's breeches, not pants, I say. Anyhow, I thought the British won at Fort Ticonderoga in 1777. Grandpa smiles. See, I've taught you something after all. As we walk away, I hear Grandpa talking to Dad. So I was thinking about the mill across the stream from your house. What about it, Dad says. If we fix it up, we can get it grinding cocoa beans all day. We'll expand production and start shipping to reenactments all over the country. Dad laughs. Let's not get too hasty, Pops. Right now, it's one batch at a time. Hannah and I walk around the huge stone wall and make our way along the path. As soon as we see the redcoats, it's like we've been transported back in time. A long line of British soldiers march across the field, while patriots squat behind trees and boulders with their muskets. The cannon booms and the battle begins. You two look more ridiculous than ever, a voice says. Alan Kunkel. Is that kid everywhere? He takes a photo of us. I try to ignore him, but he goes on. You couldn't compete with real chocolate geniuses, so you had to come here. Huh? Something chirps in the folds of Hannah's dress, and she smiles. Alan? It's Mr. Kunkel. He stomps over. Just because you invented the award-winning chocolate for the expo doesn't mean you don't have to pay attention. Last marking period social studies grade is writing on this report, and you're going to write. Mr. Hanchett was kind enough to offer you extra credit. Now don't blow it. Alan's face goes red. You tell anyone about this, Mason, and I'll show everyone the photo of you in your outfit. I don't care what you show people, I say. I like this outfit. Yeah, Hannah says, straightening your bonnet. And your days of being a chocolate genius are over. What are you talking about? Alan says. Hannah pulls out a small black rectangle. The glassy front glints in the sun. What's that? Alan says. It's Miss Meredith's cell phone, she says. She's your cousin. She was texting you our recipes for months before she quit. Plus, she was telling you when to let Coco out of his crate. It was you all along. That's a lie, Alan says. I've seen all the texts, so don't deny it, Hannah says, tossing the phone to Alan. I even printed them out. She calls you Boo-Boo. Alan scowls and stuffs Miss Meredith's phone into his pocket. Just then, amid all the musket fire, Coco charges out onto the battlefield in his tricorn hat and ruffled collar. He bounds past the patriots and begins darting around the redcoats as though they were an obstacle course. Then, without slowing down, he leaps at the man playing British Major General John Borgan. General Borgan falls onto his back, and Coco starts licking his face over and over. Hannah runs out after Coco. I don't think this is how it actually happened, she says. I chase after Hannah, laughing. Somehow I think you're right, I say. I just hope General Bergen is the kind of general who likes dog licks.